All right, welcome everyone to Gavel Innovate 2024. I'm Gavel CEO, and I am so thrilled to be here today with our CTO, Pierre Martin, and our Head of Customer Success, Tricia Duffin. And we're going to be covering some of our biggest releases of 2024 and sharing a sneak peek of what is coming in 2025. So since the very early days when we started Gavel, and I see some of you early users in the audience already here, we have been laser focused on advancing the way that legal professionals serve and reach their clients. So why do we do this? Because we believe that it is the only way to make access to legal services universal and to make the legal profession one that's really joyful to work in. You all are in a profession that helps change people's lives. The words that you write on paper have huge impacts on their rights, on their remedies, on the sanctity of the justice system. And whether you're helping companies secure really impactful funding, whether you're helping parents separate with as little pain and impact as possible, or making the end of life process easy, we want to make it easier for you to deliver exceptional results for your clients and to do that in a way that serves your firm, your organization, and you personally best by allowing you to practice at the top of your license and helping you generate exponentially more profitable firms. This past year has been one of incredibly impactful growth for you all in our Gavel community and for our software platform generally. We had over 700 firms use AI for the very first time with Gavel, making Gavel the entry point for the use of legal technology generally, and also for the practical use of AI tools. We had 15 million documents generated on Gavel, with our first customer ever to generate 1 million documents on the platform, representing about 10,000 hours saved daily in document drafting. And you're not only becoming efficient and streamlined, you all are generating more revenue. We have more law firms generating 7 figures of revenue through their businesses on Gavel today. And so today we'll be highlighting 3 of our key features from 2024 and showcasing some exciting previews of what's coming in early 2025. So let's dive in. At Gavel, we've had a steady drumbeat of features, adding new features several times a month, many of them being features that are requested by you all from our wish list or from conversations that we've had with you on demos, on support calls, and all throughout the process. There are far too many to cover here today, but today we want to focus on the ones that solve some of the most common challenges and are the biggest transformation in the way that you all work. So Gavel has become the most powerful automation platform for both Word documents and also for PDF documents. Back in 2023, we launched the first version of Gavel's AI onboarding feature. It allowed you to load a set of Word documents, starting with your documents, and have Gavel automatically build a workflow for you in minutes. This year, we launched Gavel AI for PDF documents. It uses AI to identify fields in your PDF and create intake questions for you. And critically, Gavel AI allows lawyers and legal professionals to approve or reject any automated rules that the AI suggests, which eliminates 2 of the really key issues in legal AI, which are hallucinations and unpredictable outcomes. So I'm going to pass it over to someone you all know and love, Tricia Duffin, the head of our customer success team, to show us how it all works.
Hi, everybody. So we're going to walk through our blueprint. If you have not used this yet, I highly recommend it. It's kind of fun. Right here, you start with your documents. That's the first thing when you start a new workflow, and you're going to upload one of your PDFs or more of your PDFs. You can have as many PDFs, Word documents, etc. that you'd like. I'm going to have a name for it. I picked this Maryland civil case information sheet that I pulled directly from the Maryland court site. Just went to their website, downloaded the PDF, uploaded it to Blueprint here, and as you can see, the AI did its magic. It scans through, it looks for any fillable fields, it creates not only the questions and the variables, but it tags it for you automatically. From here, I can see what the question is going to be and what the variables are. I can even edit them. So in this case, it's asking for a filing form. This is actually supposed to be a case number. So let's change the question to what is the case number, change the variable to case number, but also we can change the variable type if we wanted to, make it a number or whatever you'd like. We can also reject variables as well. You'll see this here that we have the case name for the plaintiff or the defendant, but we're also asking the plaintiff name in essence twice. So what we can do here is reject one of these and allow yourself to, go ahead and retag that later when we actually have the builder site for that. So in this instance, I'm going to reject this question and variable and move through. So this is all through the AI who is looking through and scanning through for what it thinks are possible questions and variables. You'll also see all types of variables. So we have a yes, no question that has conditional logic already added to it, so that if you select that you are self-represented, it would output that accordingly. We also do this for multi-select, drop down, single select. You have here a multi-select. So all of those are options on the question. What is the category, case category, and subcategory? These can be edited later, but you can also go through and see it's creating all the conditional values for you. So it just takes seconds to upload a PDF, download a PDF, upload it to your Gavel blueprint, run it through the AI, make your edits or changes, and voila, you have got a workflow. So now we're going to go to the builder site to see, once we've created it, what we have questions that we've already accepted or rejected, what variables that we have here. You get a huzzah that you've done it here, but you'll see everything is on one page. You have all your different questions here, and this is where you can do your magic and edit this and customize it. We can add certain things as well, change the question type. We can add logic, create help text. There's a lot of options here to make this a more dynamic workflow. What the AI does is get you started so you have these questions readily available, like this one, the self-represented yes, no, where we only want to show the email of the party's attorney if they're not self-represented. So we actually can put in logic directly here to only show the email if they are represented, not self-represented. So these types of changes you can make. You can add pages, you can move questions. There's a lot of things you can do once you get to the builder site. So the AI part gets you to the point where you have an already filled PDF. We already have the questions set up. Now you get to do the dynamic part of creating pages, moving questions, things like that as well. And so here I'm starting a new page, and I'm going to show you how you can move questions from a different page to this page using your toolbar. So it's pretty easy to go down and grab a question and then drag that dropped into your the second page and create pages that way. Here's your template. You'll see here we can tag now. All the variables that we already accepted are in there, but however, that party's name, which we rejected, we now want to insert that variable, that case name plaintiff. So what this does is it creates that into the variable, and you're able to then have that fully tagged. So once you have that done, save it. I'm a double saver. You can run it and it will ask you all the questions. Now I'm going to put a lot of dummy data in here just so that we can get through. And so you're not sitting here through all those different pages, but here you'll see that logic of self-represented. Yes, it doesn't show. No, it does show. Answer the rest of these questions here. And then we'll get to the review page. The review page is going to allow you to make edits or changes. This is going to allow you to get back to with our data manager as well. But if I continue through, we now have our outputted PDF. I can see that everything has been filled out with my dummy data, that the different information is there as well. So the AI actually gets us started. You can do this in the matter of minutes. It's really quite remarkable.
Thank you, Tricia. So AI helps you automate PDFs and Word documents in Gavel in about 1/10 of the time from what we've seen. But we've also transformed the PDF automation platform more generally. So we know that handling PDFs like court forms and government forms were a huge pain point for a lot of our users. And we were able to automate them, but the process wasn't as easy or robust. So this year, we launched visual PDF automation with expanded logic. And by doing so, we made it dead simple to load a document, visually tag all the fields and questions you have in your workflow with a few clicks, and generate multiple PDF documents at once, easily adding logic to them and even combining them with Word document outputs. I'm going to pass it back over to Tricia, who's going to show us how this feature works in action.
Again. So this time I used an Ohio form, changing things up a little bit, but we'll see I have a notice of probate. It is a PDF that I added. This is a workflow that I created. So all the questions I've already asked to be able to input in here, but now I have a blank fillable PDF. You'll see it's quite similar to what we had once we were tagging after the blueprint, but you can actually insert a variable, you can insert text, you can also insert conditional values. So in this case, we ask about the court county, but in your case, you may know it's always going to be a specific county. You can actually enter text and write in that county, so it would always be that county. You can also just insert your variables as I do here, kind of walking through the different questions I've already created and when I created this workflow. If you have used Gavel in the past, this interface is quite dynamic comparatively. You're able to actually select the field, insert a variable, and insert conditional values. This is going to be readily important, especially here, as you can see in these check boxes. You can tag this with a conditional value where it says, based on a question I ask of the role type of this person who's filing this, if it's any of them are fiduciary, that this checkbox will be marked. And you can do these for all of these check boxes. So it's very simple, easy to use, easy to see logic to say, okay, if this question I've asked, the filer role, there we go, is any of that option, applicant for admission to be probate, then it will be checked. So we do that for all of those. But that's not only what we can do with checkboxes and conditional values. We have things called repeating item questions. And these are loops of questions you can ask over and over again. You can also tag repeating item questions into your PDF. So in this example, I'm going to have 3 different recipients that I'm going to list here. This is a variable that is a repeating item question called recipient. One of the questions I ask in the repeating item is the name of the recipient, and I want to put the first person who's filled it out on that line. On the second line, I'm going to put the second person who filled this out on. And it will do that as you're conditionalizing this versus the repeating item entry number. That is going to be the second recipient's name is going to be there. And again, the third. If there is no second or no third, those would be blank. And that same idea that we had with conditional values also happened with repeating items. So here I could insert a conditional value based off a repeating item. So if my repeating item is the type, and that's the first iteration, and I've selected the surviving spouse, that checkbox will be marked. So you can even set conditional values with repeating items, multi-select, single select. There's definitely a lot of options for creating your conditional values, yes, no, just as you saw in our pre-built workflows. Much more dynamic, much more interactive, and a much more controlled atmosphere. And don't forget, you can enter text. So if you wanted something a little bit more complex, there are ways to get to that as well through our help desk, help@gavel.io, or through our Learning Center. We do have a lot of information on PDF tagging as well. So here we have my questions here. I've tagged the document. Once I run it, it's just kind of like you've seen in other workflows with Gavel, that you can enter the information, get to your review page, submit it, and all the tags will have gone through, including the different iterations for Peter Piper and Jane Doe that I inputted there. A much more robust system.
Wonderful. Thank you, Tricia. So allowing for automation has been really game-changing for a lot of you at your organizations and at your firms. And Gavel's power allows for so much complexity so that when you do automate your documents, they can be nearly 100% complete instead of having to continue to tinker with pre-automated documents for hours if you didn't have the feature set that Gavel has. But it does take a bit of time to set up sometimes. So that's why, in addition to our AI workflow builder, which is intended to help you ramp up much faster, for areas of law that have standardized forms, like court forms, or and we have some estate planning forms as well, we launched Gavel's No Setup Automated Forms. These are pre-built workflows that work out of the box, where you don't need to set anything up and you can find value on day one. We have these for many states in family law, like California Judicial Council forms, for probate, and for California estate planning, among others. Here are just a few of the states that we have some forms built out for. Tricia, I'll pass it to you to show us how this works in action.
Here we go again, guys. So I'm really excited about this one. Our team here, Maddie especially, has been working on these. You can find them on gavel.io under no setup automations under our product line, and you'll see them all listed here. They are separated by jurisdiction and by legal area, so you can actually search by the different jurisdictions that we are hopefully growing into, and I know Dorna is going to go into that in a second, and all the different areas that we're hoping to grow into as well. Right now, I'm going to focus a little bit more on the California estate planning and show you this estate planning package with trust for couple. And one of the things I want to show first is that you can literally just try this workflow right now. If you went to Gavel.io and you went to that site, you can try it, be led to this page, fill it out, and see in real time what the flow of the workflow is, the different sets of questions we have, and get an output document to see what the form would look like at the end. This is a very, very robust workflow. As you can see, there's a lot of different sections and pages to this. It provides so much information that's already pre-programmed, including logic, help text, any type of conditional logic for output of documents, to questions, to question pages. You have all of that already created for you. I'm going to show you a couple of different things that we have in this workflow. So you can see here, we're nominating successor trustees. We have options on entity or physical person, and then it changes based on that as well. Once you input all of this information, it is going to be usable later on in the workflow. Here is a repeating item question. We talked about that last time, but a repeating item is something that asks sets of questions over and over again. This is one question for my beautiful, big, beautiful painting. That is my asset. But you can also ask other questions like, what is the estimated value? Things like that, what you want to ask over and over for any of these properties. So there are ways that you can edit this as well, and I'm going to get to that in a second. We also have different types of questions that you can then use the variables. So you see Tricia testing in there, Peter Piper. Those are variables that we've asked already that we can reuse in the workflow. Again, all of this is set up already. You don't have to build this. These are things that you're able to utilize. And right now you can use it for free by just going to gavel.io, go to product, and then the non-setup automated forms to find the list of these. This particular workflow goes into a lot of detail. You can see here how many things it covers and what kind of robust trust and will you would get out of this at the end. You'll also see that it has other things like set primary agent, the same as settler one. You have options to list previously people that you've listed, use people that you've previously listed. There are a lot of options here. And I just want to kind of show that because it's a really amazing build. We have amazing Gavel experts and other contractors that are building these out for us that are attorneys. They understand the area of law that we're building them out for. So here we get to the review page for this non-built or pre-built workflow, excuse me. And we'll go to the continue, and then at the end, you're going to get your output documents. I've named mine the Tricia Amazing Trust. So you here have these different documents. I'm going to go ahead and show you what that looks like as the Word document, because once you've outputted this, you'll see what the form looks like. You'll see it filled in and complete, and you can really get an idea for what the form looks like. Now, this is what it's like to just try it, right? So we're just trying this out, looking to get the information into a document and see what forms come out. But you can also add this to your Pro account. So when you're a Gavel Pro user, you can request a workflow, and our team will go ahead and put that workflow onto your dashboard. So now you can run it as much as you'd like, you can now also edit it. So this will allow you to make those changes. Maybe you do want to ask the estimated value of that repeating item. Maybe you want to add different questions as well. But now you get to the edit page, you can add more documents if there's other documents that your firm likes to use. But this gives you at least that whole starting point to start from. We do have a help center to help you with editing, because we know that that's going to be a big part if you're interested in editing these workflows. Again, that is at gavel.io / I believe help, but I'm not sure 100% on that. Look at our chat. I'm sure one of my team members will put that in there for you. But you can go there and it will give you videos and other objects for learning more about our pre-built workflows.
Wonderful. Thank you, Tricia. All right. So that was a really great overview of what one of those pre-built workflows looks like. I'm seeing a lot of questions in the chat about pre-built workflows. What exists for me? How can I modify them? So these are ones that are built out of the box. So you don't necessarily, you can make changes to them, but you don't have to. You can run them as they are and find value on day one. We at Gavel are firm believers that document automation is one of the lowest hanging fruit with the most impact to transform your law firm in the way that you work in 2025. So as a result, if you practice in an area that has some standardized forms like court forms, we want to make it as easy as possible for you to get started on Gavel and find value on day one. So we actually have a special offer for any Gavel user. If you have a set of court forms that you want automated, you can either email me at the email that you see on this screen, or you can go to that QR code, which will take you to our webpage, which I know Maddie has also put inside of the chat. And you can request whatever forms that you want. So you'll just list out, these are the court forms that I want. Tell us how you want them grouped. If you have any other special instructions, feel free to include that as well. And if you do that by the end of the month, we will build those out for you for free and put them onto your pro account. So please take advantage of this amazing offer. We're excited to build these out. All right, now I'm going to pass it over to Pierre, our CTO.
Good morning or good day, everyone. I guess it's afternoon in East Coast already. So excited to be here. As you know, at Gavel, our mission is to accelerate legal innovation and accelerate the creation of automation in the legal space. And we've done that with your help, this amazing community of innovators. And we've done it because we believe that people like you, who are the passion to change the industry, are the ones who ultimately do it. And we're here to help you with providing powerful logic at the tip of your fingers. As you've seen from Dorna and Tricia the past year, we've done this with launching features around the core concepts of workflow building of Gavel, right? We've built AI assistants that make it super easy to convert your Word documents and PDF forms into Gavel workflows. We've done it with integrating Gavel logic into your PDF documents. We've done it with this no setup automated forms. But we had to think deeper for next year about what is it that you truly need to do in guiding your clients through complex legal matters. And that led us to think of the next iteration of Gavel's platform. So I'm super excited to announce today the upcoming of Workflow Builder 2.0. This is a next iteration of our platform that will make it possible for you to have even more power in your logic, but also more ease in creating this power. This is a process we started 6 months ago in just even going through your feedback, understanding what you're doing. And you see here examples of things you've upvoted in our wish list for features. So the ability to go create logic on multiple pages, iterate faster with version history, more versatility in creating repeating items, more logic for PDF tagger, more the ability to autosave, the ability to have more AI assistance, and of course, the ability to create more nested conditions that really guide your clients through the complexity of the legal matters they're dealing with. All of this led us to really think of this next iteration of Workflow Builder 2.0 to make Gavel an even more versatile and feature-rich environment than it currently is. So we've done this, but we've kept our core principles true, right? We do want to make sure that you get high quality documents every time, and this is not changing. However, we're adding to Gavel more ability to create powerful logic while keeping that perfect formatting, the ability to create more advanced formulas that you can reuse across your workflow, but also insert into your documents, the ability to have more flexibility in how you handle repeating items and you convert questions into repeating items over time. And we've done that by adding the principle of making logic super easy and intuitive. And that meant building an ergonomic, unified way to create logic, whether you want to use that logic to show or hide a question, a page, but also decide who's getting which document or who's going to assign or review which document. We've also helped you in the process of building this logic with more features to iterate quickly. For instance, the ability to do or undo your changes, but also auto suggestions that will guide you through the creation of this logic that guides you through the legal matter. And of course, continuing your investment in AI assistants that not only convert documents into Gavel workflows, but also will help you in creating the logic behind the workflows that you're creating on Gavel. So I'm super excited to get into it and show you what it is. This is Gavel's new workflow builder. There's a familiar UI, but the look and feel is more modern and simpler to use. We've kept core concepts, of course. You're still building questions in a questionnaire and tagging them to document templates. But you can create defined variables you can reuse later, do and undo your changes, and as usual, run and save your workflow. Here, I'm automating a stock purchase agreement, and I'm collecting questions on pages I can easily navigate across, company details and fundraising details. Let's add a question to figure out what funding type we're dealing with. Here, our drawer allows us to add questions of lots of different types and insert them in any place in the workflow, here at the top. And I'm going to ask, what's the funding type? Our assistant helps you craft the questions, but also insert the variables. And you can easily switch between types. So I inserted text, but of course, I want to give options to my users here. And I can provide different choices for the funding type here, either a safe or a series funding or a convertible note. If I'm not really happy with the order, I can reorder it in any way I want. Here, maybe in alphabetical order. I can also change the settings of the question easily with the same drawer to say, for instance, a default value for the user or helpful text to help them understand the intent of the question. Okay, let's add another question to understand who are the key shareholders here. Shareholders who own more than 1% of the company. I'm going to drag this question at the bottom of the workflow. Again, very easy to compose workflows and reorder them. And I'm going to ask, who are the shareholders who own more than 1% of the shares? I'm going to collect the name in a text, but hold on. I'm actually realizing this is something I need to ask multiple times. So let's create a repeating item out of it. You can see that automatically here, we created a new page for you to work with a repeating item. And let's collect more information about our key shareholders in that new page. Not only their name, which is a text, but we can also ask their ownership ratio with a different type of variable here, which is a number of decimal formats. Great. So we're creating a repeating item to collect key shareholders. How about we create one new page to understand more details about a specific funding type we created before, is safe. So this is a page we'll show only when we enter certain conditions. The safe details, for instance, a safe typically has a valuation cap. So we're going to ask a number question to understand what is the total valuation cap of the fundraising of a safe. Wonderful, but this is a page I only want to show in certain conditions. And so now our unified logic builder helps you craft those conditions easily with guidance. I can insert questions I've already asked before, for instance, the funding type, and I can say, show it only if funding is safe. I can compose more conditions, right? So now for the first time, we're able to create more nested and show or hide and or on the conditions. I can also compose conditions over text, but also other types of questions. So I could say, let's show this only if the fundraising amount is above a certain threshold, because I only care about that. And you can see that the whole experience is guided in providing me the operators and the options that only make sense in context of manipulating a number. I can do more. I can create formulas on the fly. So let's say I don't care about the fundraising amount, but the share value, which is fundraising amount divided by the number of shares. And let's say I want to show this only if the share value is above 1. I can do all this and create very complex logic to guide my clients through matters. But let's keep it simple for now and create a condition that shows that page only if the fundraising amount is about $1,000. Wonderful. Let's talk about a little more advanced logic for a second, right? There's cases where I want to create formulas that I can reuse throughout my workflow or even insert in documents, right? We've all run into the cases of we've collected a first name and last name, but we need the full name. Our logic builder, the guidance here helps me compose these formulas in concatenating a first name with a last name into a full name. Very easy to build here. I can also add delimiters. So for instance, a space between the first name and the last name. You see the guidance tells me what's wrong at any step of the process. I could also put a comma as a delimiter if I wanted. Very easy to adjust and create these values that are not necessarily questions I'm asking from my clients, but compose values that I can insert in my documents or later on in the workflow. I can do that with text, but also with number questions, right? So for instance, I could compute my share price or my share value here as a division between the total fundraising amount and the number of shares. You can see that the options presented to me are only the ones that are specific to numbers, making it super easy to iterate through these formulas. All right, let's save it and run it. Here, I'm going to create this package for a company called Gavel. I'm sure you're familiar with it, with our CEO, Dorna. I can see the multi-select options that I've created before. I'm going to pick a save so it shows the last page we just created. I can pick dates that I can format later on in the document or in our formulas. I'm going to issue 10,000 shares at a 100 million valuation, which makes it $10,000 a share. And then I'm going to go through this page of asking information about the key shareholders. So for instance, what's their name, what's their ownership ratio. I'm going to add 2 of these shareholders named, in this case, Kieran and Ainsley. Continuing and reviewing my repeating items. As you've seen, we've entered the conditions to enter the next page, right? So now I'm going to enter the valuation cap, hypothetically. And then ultimately, I can go to this page we're familiar with to review and edit any of the information I provided before, as it is in Gavel today, and continue and generate the documents. It's notable that the logic I've showed is also something you can use to compose logic to decide who receives which documents, and also how the documents are named, but also who needs to sign which documents. In our documents, we've inserted all the values we've created in perfect formatting. December 9, Gavel, Dorna Moini, which is something we computed in a defined variable, our list of key shareholders, and the 10,000 per share value. I hope you get the sense that all your feedback was super helpful for us in composing a very powerful and easy to use platform to create really any logic to guide your clients through complex legal matter. And I'm super excited to announce that in the next slide, our next iteration of Builder 2.0, is coming in Q1 2025. And I'm very excited to welcome a few of you of our community members to a beta program that will start very soon in Q1. Thank you, and I will pass it back to Dorna for a Q&A session.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Pierre, and thank you for everyone for being here. We are very excited about 2025 generally, and particularly early 2025, the launch of Workflow Builder 2.0. So we have a few minutes left here, and I want to open it up for any questions you have. I see there are a lot of questions in the chat about pre-built workflows. So if you do want a pre-built workflow, click on that link or this QR code on the right-hand side will take you there. And we also have a few other links here in case you want to start a free trial if you don't already have a Gavel account, or if you want to book time with our fabulous customer team, there's a link for that here as well. But with that, I'll open it up to any questions that anyone has. And maybe if anyone who's been moderating the chat, feel free to call out any questions that have come up. I see there have been quite a few questions about pre-built workflows, and yes, I see that a few of you have asked about pre-built workflows. Go ahead and add the pre-built workflows that you'd like to that link with the forms that you want, and we will get started on them right away. Well, if you do sign in and leave your email there, then we know that we can email you back and let you know when they're ready. Someone is asking, Olivia is asking, are there any plans to add builder collaboration permissions? That is, and I see Pierre has already asked that as well. We're now setting ourselves up for success on allowing for collaboration in 2025.
I saw maybe one I wanted to take on is there's a question on the temperature of the AI or how creative it is in crafting the questions. I think one thing to keep in mind is it's not only a straight call to our language model here, it's just there's process after in Gavel to clean up those questions and make sure they make sense. And then there's features we're thinking about later on to help you adjust the tone of those questions, right? So sometimes you want to frame it as a question, sometimes you just want to frame it as a statement, right? And so those are the features that are coming up in Builder 2.0 down the line, where it'll be very easy for you to use some AI assistant to just change and reorder the questions that you have in your workflow.
We have a question from the chat about Builder 2.0 allowing copying pages between workflows.
Not yet, but this is definitely in the works as well. So this is a question we get very often, and thanks to you all for upvoting this on our wish list. It is something that we're very aware needs to happen. What Builder 2.0 actually does for us from a technology perspective is it sets us up for allowing for a lot of the other features that have also been asked for on the wish list. So that is something that we're definitely going to be working on as well.
We also have another question from Miriam about workflows with Stripe. Will we see an option for a coupon code in 2025?
Another one that's definitely on our list. There are a lot of features on our wish list. So if you all go over there, it's wishlist.gavel.io. Feel free to upvote anything that you see that you really want to see in the platform, because that is a very big source of ideas for us and prioritization for us on what we want to build next. So please do go over there and upvote it. That one is also very high up on our list. Wonderful. I also see a question about integrations with other tools, specifically with my case. While we don't currently integrate with them directly, we do integrate with them through Zapier, and our team can also help you with all of that as well. So feel free to reach out to us to help you connect.
Dorna, we have a question from Tracy about the switch to 2.0 and maybe a little bit more information on what we're expecting for our customers.
Great question, Tracy. So we're going to be doing a little bit like a phased rollout of Workflow Builder 2.0. So first, we will actually ask some of you who are already on Gavel, who's ready to get started on Workflow Builder 2.0 first. We'll bring you folks on as volunteers. And then after that, at a certain point, we'll migrate everyone's workflows over to 2.0, Workflow Builder 2.0 automatically. And I see some people are asking, how can we, okay, lots of excitement for participating in Builder 2.0.
I'm going to chime in just with one key point. There's no work on your side to move to Builder 2.0 besides working with our customer success team and Tricia and just notify your intent to get started. And then we automatically convert your workflows to Builder 2.0. There's an important thing to keep in mind. It's an easy conversion from where you are today to the new Builder experience. However, you've seen you can create more advanced logic in new Builder, so there's no path back to where you were, right? Like it's just, you have to understand you can create more advanced things, but then there's no way back to the old experience once you've moved to the new Builder.
That's a great point. And yeah, especially, you guys saw there's multiple question logic, there's multiple page logic, there's more advanced things that we're doing in invisible logic. And so once you build that all out in Workflow Builder 2.0, that if that didn't exist in the current version, there's no way to have that old view. But I think we're pretty confident that you're all going to really love Workflow Builder 2.0. Great question. So there are some questions on when will the templates be able to create complex math? We are able to already create pretty complex math inside of your templates. So if there are things that you haven't been able to do, please do reach out to us so that we can help you set that all up. And then to get your free pre-built workflows, your free no setup automated forms built out, please do submit those by the end of the month, and we'll be getting started on them on a rolling basis and have them ready to you sometime very early 2025. All right, well, we are just about at the end of our time here. So thank you everyone for joining us here today. Feel free to book time with our team, request your workflows. We're so excited for 2025. This is just one of the many features that we're going to be building in 2025 and releasing to you, as you've seen already this year. So we're really excited to bring you more, and please be in touch if you need anything from us.